Welcome back to First Time for Everything. My name's Mello. Today is December 16th, 2020, and I am recording my first progress report. Now, these videos are not intended for entertainment value. I'm simply trying to document exactly what I've gone through from knowing absolutely nothing to the point that I'm at now. If you want to follow my same path, you absolutely can. In no way am I saying this is the way to do it. This is the way I'm doing it, and I've never seen a single YouTuber detail what they went through from pressing record for the first time to the point that they're at now, and that's exactly what I intend to do. Now, the things I'd like to go over is, first off, I want to cover my current YouTube set. There haven't been many changes, but there have been some, so I just want to document where I was at on my first progress report. After that, I want to go through my YouTube stats, which are next to nothing, but as progress reports go, I think that's very important to document what I have so far. A lot of YouTubers, they document, 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, but once that point passes, if you didn't record it, it's gone. So that's kind of the point of me documenting this for myself. After that, I'm going to tell you how I promote my own YouTube channel. After that, I want to go through a list of things that I learned for the first time from the very beginning of me trying to do YouTube, from knowing absolutely nothing to the point that I'm at now. Let's get into it. Now, when it comes to a brief overview, the back half of 2018, I started driving for Uber, and I drove pretty consistently for the next year. Now, to make myself better, I was looking up Uber content on YouTube to make myself a better driver and to earn more money. Now, during that period of time, I realized the most popular person I watched was making almost six figures on YouTube with his Uber content, and my mind was blown. Now, he was in Australia, I was in the States. We both don't have girlfriends or wives or kids or anything like that, so we had absolute freedom to work any shift we wanted. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the real money is made between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m., and he believed that as well. I was getting the same content as he was, I just wasn't publishing it. So I thought, you know what, this is what I can do. I told all my friends and family, this is what I want to do, how I want to do it, and when I want to do it. That Christmas 2019, I received a brand new Dell i3 laptop, and I had decided I am going to start my YouTube endeavors on January 10th. On January 6th, I got hit by a drunk driver. Now, because my car is my job, I was dead in the water. My car did not get replaced until March 10th. I started driving again, but March 15th, what do you know, the virus shut Florida down. No bars, no clubs, no restaurants. That was my money, so I was dead in the water again. For the next couple of months, sad to say, but I did the whole day drinking thing. I spent my time playing video games or, no exaggeration, watching 10 hours of random YouTube videos. I was basically a bum, and it just kind of caught up with me. Now, near that time, around May, I found out that Uber changed their policies. There was another YouTuber that I used to watch, and he ended up getting fired from Uber because they changed those policies. The policies said that even if the riders give you permission, you cannot broadcast any pictures, video, or audio, or you'd get fired. He lost his YouTube career and his actual job in the same sitting. I realized that I was dead in the water. Now, at that time, I had some of my actual job work pick up, so I was busy for a little bit, but I just kind of let the whole YouTube thing die. Now, I couldn't believe that my almost YouTube career was over, so I was trying to brainstorm what could I do that I could put on YouTube. And over time, I started, I don't want to say nothing like a clinical depression, but an extreme sadness came over me, and I started looking back on better times. Those better times was the love of my life from 3 years ago. Her name's Wendy. And this girl taught me so much, and I loved being around her, but I was too stupid to see it at that time. Unfortunately, I threw that relationship away because I didn't love her enough. But it's gone. It is what it is. For whatever reason, I started writing a list of things that I had done for the first time in that 3-year period of time. I came up with like 40 or 50 things. Now, me reading those things back, I was like, that's kind of impressive. That's a lot of things you did. But what I realized was of those 40 things, like 3 of them maybe, I chose to do. The rest of them were kind of forced on me, and I forced them to happen. Good example. The roommate I have now, Josie, she volunteers at a fireworks store during fireworks seasons, obviously July and December. Now, because she's volunteering, they pay her in fireworks. Now, all the women that volunteered at this fireworks store, they're not using their fireworks, but they're getting paid in them. Josie knew all of them, so she gifted me almost $1,000 in fireworks. So, because I had this many fireworks all together, I was like, well, let me make a show out of it. So I figured out a way to make a fireworks show. Now, I'm not much for tooting my own horn, but if you saw the show I put on for the first time, outside of like 3 mistakes I made in like a 2.5 hour period of time, there's no way you would think some guy just figured that out. It was incredible. So that's a good example of something that was forced on me, and because I was given $1,000 worth of fireworks, well, of course I'm gonna do something with that. Of the 40 things, 37 of them just happened to me. And I just realized that I chose to be nothing in my life. It was one day at a time, 1 week, 2 months, 3 years, 8 years. I feel like I went to sleep in my early 20s and woke up in my early 30s. And that just bothered me a lot. And that's really how it came to me to be able to have a YouTube channel called First Time for Everything. I'm tired of being a nobody because of my own choice. So I'm just gonna do things for the first time and record it. And somebody out there is going to value the content that I have, because I'm becoming a better person. Becoming a better person is not nearly as daunting as you think it is. So what I wanted to do, the very first thing I wanted to do, was record an intentions video, which is the second video I ever posted. I wanted to tell myself what I wanted to do and why I wanted to do it. So I chose a room as my YouTube studio before it was a studio. It was this room. This is a Florida room. So wherever your bedroom is, most likely there's only one exterior wall to the outside world. Now, if your bedroom is in the corner of your house, you have 2 exterior walls. A Florida room is a room that juts out from the main house and has 3 walls, and they're covered in windows. Now, my YouTube room has 7 windows in it, and the entry from about right here over is a double sliding glass door. Lot of glass. So when I recorded that first video, I realized how much there is an echo in here, and I started looking up acoustic treatment. Not because I had to learn that for the first time. I was like, well, looks like that's another video. Then I bought a couple of mics, and I couldn't even get them to work because I didn't have the right adapters. Took me a couple of days casually to figure it out, but I realized, well, now that's another video. Then when I hooked up all of my equipment in my YouTube room and I couldn't find enough plugs, I couldn't find enough power sources, I was like, well, that's another video. I ended up recording, at the time, I thought it was about 10 videos worth of content, but I didn't know how to edit any of it, so it never got posted. A couple months later, I was feeling really low again, that I'm just recording all this stuff and not doing anything with it. And I remembered all of the training, all of the YouTube videos that I had seen from actual professionals, and one phrase kept sticking in my mind. Don't wait until you're ready, because you will never be ready if you wait until you're ready. Just hit record and send that thing off. Now, I don't like that. I'm a perfectionist. So that's why I've set all this up, but I'm like, you know what? If I don't do this, it's never going to happen. I had a few drinks. I brought this stand and my phone into my garage. Ugly garage, total mess. Didn't care about what I looked like. Didn't care if I was drunk, I was smoking cigarettes. I just didn't care. And I recorded a video that, God, I hope that video lives forever, because that was a sad time. That was a sad time, and that was the worst you'll ever see me. But I'd be lying if I said that that video wasn't the reason that I am here now. Sending that video off was the best thing I could have done for myself. And all the things I'm about to go over, all the things that I learned, everything that I've gathered over time, that happened because I forced myself to do that video. After that video, I really wanted to post more videos, but I knew I had a backlog of videos that I didn't know how to edit. So I went on YouTube and I taught myself how to edit. It took me 2 days. I'm pretty slow at these kinds of things, but I researched software. I got software. I used every single feature until I understood it on a general level. And on the third day, I made a quick video of a pool that I recorded. I was in someone's house and they had a gorgeous pool, normal house, like 1,600 square feet, but their pool looked like a lagoon. It was gorgeous. It was exactly the way that I would want my pool to look when I own my own house. So I edited that video, and that helped me understand what trim is, what cutting is, what pre-cuts are, what transitions are, slowing time, changing audio. It taught me a lot of things. Once I knew how to basic edit, that's what I started doing. Is I started editing just the errors out of my videos and the repeats and the extra information that was not needed, so I could slim things down enough. Now, originally I thought that I could have 10 videos out of the content that I had. However, I only recorded those in about 4 or 5 sittings. So I only had one intro and one outro with like 2 or 3 videos in between. I didn't really think that through. So when I started chopping up the videos, I realized there's no intro or outro to the middle part. Well, I know I could have chopped that section out, created an intro and an outro and posted it. But to be honest, I didn't really want to edit video from 5 months ago. I wanted to edit video that I was making right now. So I just decided, I don't care if it's 30 or 40 or 50 minutes in some cases. I'm just going to edit them to the best of my ability and send them off. Once I finally did that, that brings me to this point here, the progress report. Now, to cover my current YouTube setup, which is not much different than it was before, I extended my acoustic treatment back a couple feet. So before, the acoustic treatment used to come to right there. I moved it back now that I got rid of the cages. But as you can see, I have acoustic treatment or moving blankets set up all around the room. So it covers almost all of it. It does not cover the front windows because I rely on those windows for a majority of my light. Now that right there is head high when it comes to recording. So when I'm framing the shot, I just want to make sure that I'm just under that line. On the bottom, these 4 markers, you'd be surprised, but even though the camera's really not that far from my chair, you hear more of an echo as you move back. So I have marked out the places on the carpet that my chair wheels should be. That way I can get a little bit better audio before I get into microphones. When it comes to microphones, this is a $20 Neewer mic on a boom stand made by Ola Music. This is a $16 lapel mic made by Boya. This is a gaming headset I already had, and these are the adapters that I needed to make sure everything works properly. That's Josie's computer. That's gonna be gone pretty soon here. 1 lamp in one corner, 1 lamp in another. Not a fan of that light, so I basically never use it. Now, I went ahead and plugged in my Note 4 because not only do I have some videos on there, but if I ever need another camera angle, technically, that phone records at 1080p, so that would be an extra camera angle if I ever need it. I dug up some old speakers that I had from before, and there was a wiring issue, so I just broke them apart and rewired it, and they work fine, so that really helps me when it comes to editing. This is my i3 Dell laptop. Obviously, this is my ring light stand, so my phone, what I'm holding right now, would go in the center. The ring light is powered by a USB, and the stand goes to about a 5-foot height. This is my first external monitor hooked up to my laptop. That is my second external monitor hooked up to my laptop. If I want to have my stocks on this one while I'm editing on this one and watching a video play on this one, I can do everything I need on 3 screens. Might be excessive, but I had them, so I used them. This is my YouTube journal. Anything I'm really doing with YouTube, I want to write it down in there. Again, for nostalgia, and I just want to see the process that I took. This is a cheap $40 external CD DVD reader writer. This is a dash cam. This one is the Vantrue N2 Pro. I have that because I drive for Uber. However, just having that here has 2 extra camera angles if I wanted to. So there's the front and the rear facing camera. So if I ever need another angle, it's right there. This is a 1 terabyte Seagate external hard drive 3.0. This is a 3.0 USB hub. And of course, gotta have the dog bed. The dogs can't be away from me for too long. My YouTube stats. As embarrassing as this is going to be, in 5 months of recording, 2 months worth of posting, I have a total of 104 minutes watched. I have a total of 9 views and 5 videos posted. Funny story, when I posted my first video, I made a deal with myself. I'm not gonna worry about the views. I'm not gonna worry about subscribers. I'm just gonna keep my head down and keep on working. And that worked until the next morning, and I was really wanting to check my stats. I really wanted to see how many views I had, and I stopped myself, and I'm thinking, Mello, who do you think you are? What, you think you got 3,000 views? What, you think you got 10,000 views? You think you just blew up overnight? And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not gonna watch it. Then towards the end of that night, I was thinking about it again. I'm like, dude, what do you think? You think you got 50 to 100 views? You really think that? Don't look at the videos. Until the next day, which I think was the 3rd day, and I just couldn't help it, and I broke. And I checked my videos, and I was like, okay, how many views do I have? 0 views. And at that moment, I'm like, Mel, you're such an idiot. What are you thinking? Like, nobody even knows who you are. You have 1 video. You have a terrible title. What did I say it was? I don't want to live this life anymore. Like, and it's not the way it sounds, but I'm like, you're not promoting yourself to anybody that you publicly know. How are people actually going to find you? Of course you have 0 views, you idiot. That was enough for me to just let that go. Next part is how I promote myself on YouTube. Well, I guess the better way to say it is that I intentionally try to not promote myself on YouTube. Just to give you an idea, I don't use hashtags. I don't link any links inside my description or anything on my YouTube video. I haven't told my friends and family. They know what I'm doing, but they really don't understand the concept of it. My brother, I love my brother, he loves me, but he's not into YouTube the way that I am, the fact that I want to make a living at it. On top of that, the content I'm producing, since right now it's all about becoming a YouTuber, he doesn't care about it. He knows the name of my YouTube channel, but he's not one to look that kind of thing up. And I'm not asking him to try to look at my videos and beef up my views or anything like that. Now, my mom is super, super sweet. I could create a literal dumpster fire and she'll be like, oh my God, my son's so talented. You should watch him. She's so sweet. But I'm not looking for that. So I made her agree with me. She can watch my videos, but she will not like them. She will not comment, and she definitely will not subscribe. My own roommate I've lived with for 2 years. I've been building this YouTube set for 6 months. Obviously, she's seen that. But I've been posting videos for 2.5 months, something like that. She just found out 2 days ago that I had videos live. I'm not telling anyone. To be honest, I kind of want the hardest path that I can have, because the point of this channel is for me to become a better person. And if there are other people out there that want to become a better person and follow in my footsteps, God, I would love that. But since my concern is my well-being, I don't want to care about subscribers, I don't want to care about views, I don't want to care about the stats. So I'm keeping it ultimately a secret. I got some close people in my circle that are like, tell me your YouTube channel. Nope, not telling you. I don't want it to be like that. I know that this is going to be a long road for me, 1 year to 3 years before I'm disappointed, and that's the road I've chosen. So, no YouTube promotion. Acoustic treatment. Now, when I recorded my first video, which was the second video I ever posted, I came into this room, set my phone up, and recorded. Immediately, I could tell how bad the echo was, and I knew I had to fix it, but I wanted to see what the playback was like. As soon as I heard the playback, I could hear that echo real bad. I had to figure out the acoustic treatment in this room. At the time, I didn't even know about the phrase acoustic treatment. I had seen a few videos before on YouTube, and I saved them just in case one day I might need it. What I found was one of the YouTubers basically linked about $400 to $500 worth of equipment from professional acoustic treatment stores for you to purchase, and that was not an option for me. Another YouTuber, he had a bit of a budget between $180 and $250. And as much as I wanted to do that, I just didn't have that money. But I used the concepts that he told me about, and I thought about the products I was using in my actual life. I decided that I was going to try to use about $80 worth of equipment, try my own method, and see what it does. When I put this in, it made such a considerable difference. It's not even funny. Now, the cheapest guy that I found, his minimum was $180. I'm at $80. So even though there's still an echo in here, if I doubled the acoustic treatment I did, I'd only be at $160. So not only would it be cheaper, not only would it be more actual acoustic treatment, but this would be the version that I didn't find online when I was looking myself. Yet another reason why I want to make this video. 3.5 millimeter jacks and microphones. Through YouTube, I discovered a couple of mics that I thought I might be able to use, and they were cheap enough for me to try them out. One of them was a $20 boom mic. The other was a lapel mic. Now, I already had a gaming headset, and obviously I'm using my phone. I haven't messed with my computer mic and camera, and I haven't messed with my dash camera at this point. Now, based on what I felt was sound reasoning, I purchased these two mics, plugged them in, made a couple of recordings, and realized the mic is not working, and I just didn't understand why. I had to do a little bit of research, but I ended up finding out that I needed a couple of adapters for these microphones. I waited a few days from Amazon, got the adapters, now they work, and I'm about ready to test them out. Increasing FPS, or frames per second. When I started teaching myself how to edit, I used a 60-second video that I recorded of somebody's gorgeous looking pool. Normal size house, 1,600 square feet or under, but their pool was transformed into a lagoon. It looked beautiful. In that video, I thought it would be awesome if during one of my pans, I could slow it down for dramatic effect. And when I did that, it got super choppy. I found out that it's because of my phone. It's a Note 8. It's well over 4 years old, but the selfie camera that you use, that can only record at 20 frames per second, which is what I was using. I was looking at the screen to figure out what I was pointing at and things like that. Now, what I didn't know is the rear-facing camera, if I just flipped it around and didn't see the screen, it could record at 45 frames per second. So I just got used to not looking at myself and becoming a decent judge at where the camera is pointing. Minimal editing. I told you about this acoustic treatment. When I did this acoustic treatment and found out it worked, I took everything down. I took the hooks out of the ceiling. I took all this stuff down, and then I recorded myself putting it up. I drilled the holes, I put the anchors in the ceiling, I then put the hooks into the anchors, I put the rivets and grommets inside every one of these blankets like 40 different times. And then when I watched the video back, I realized, man, I missed like 4 or 5 different important topics. Well, back then I didn't even have the understanding that I would actually know how to basic edit at any point. So I was literally trying to do a 20-minute take in one take. So when I saw that I had 4 or 5 errors, I literally took everything down. I took the hooks out of the ceiling again. I took the anchors out. The holes were already drilled, sure, but I then started recording again, and even though I had the holes in the ceiling already, I put the anchors back up, I put the hooks in the thing. I had blankets I wasn't even using when I was putting the rivets and grommets in, just to make it look like I was doing it for the first time because I messed up on the first take. I did this 7 times. So now that I at least know how to edit errors and repeats and information that's not valuable out of my videos, that has made things so much easier. Minimal lighting. Now, I told you this front wall has 3 windows and I rely on this for most of my light. But if it's nighttime, I have an issue. If it's too sunny out, I have an issue. Now, I do have a lamp there and I do have a lamp there, but they barely cast light on me. This ring light has helped me a lot with putting light in the right places when it's needed. Whether I have shadows or anything like that, I'm able to solve it with just basic lighting. Could I upgrade? Sure, but I'm pretty happy with what I have so far. Starting a YouTube channel. My brother loves me and I love him, and sometimes he comes over because he lives local and we'll talk about the things that are important to each other. Now for me, I was talking a lot about YouTube and how it's important to me. I was going over a list of things that I needed to learn soon, and one of them is I told him I need to learn how to start a YouTube channel. Now, while talking to me, he ended up taking a video he had of some $100 piece of meat that he was cooking on his smoker, and he posted it to his YouTube channel, which, as far as I knew, he didn't have a YouTube channel. He then linked it to me because we very often link videos to each other on a regular basis, and he sent it to me while I was standing in front of him. Now I figured, well, I may as well watch it now because for whatever reason, he sent it now. I realized it was him. I'm like, dude, how did you do this? He explained to me, I probably should have known this ahead of time, but he explained to me that anybody that uses the YouTube app has a YouTube channel. They can send videos right away. It has nothing to do with your name is, and in my case, my name was my first and last name. You could change that to anything. So that was one of those times where I thought it was an actual task I needed to achieve and cross out and feel good about when it was something that already existed. Making YouTube money. There was a point a couple of years ago where I believed that you needed to have like 200,000 subscribers to make any kind of money, let alone 100,000 or 10,000. I ended up finding out it was 1,000. You can make money on YouTube with 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, which I don't know why people talk about watch hours because YouTube keeps track of it by watched minutes. It's 240,000 minutes. Now, I also learned that YouTube cannot pay you out until you reach $100 in a month. Now, if you make $90 in a month, then they're not going to pay you out. But if you make over $100 in a month, now you can actually receive that money. So making $10 or $9 is not an option. Now, something I'm not sure about is what if you make $10 this month and $90 next month? Can they send you a $100 check next month? Does it build up? Or is it just washed until you make $100 a month? I don't know. USB types and speeds. Everybody that has a cell phone has a fast charger unless they broke it. Now you probably also have a saved charger from the past that when you plug it in, it shows the charging icon, but your phone tells you that there's a problem. Now, I always assumed that if the cord was thin, it was a slow charger. If it was fat, then maybe it was a fast charger. Well, I later found out that that's not based on that at all. It's based on how the USB charger is created, and you can see that color-coded on the inside of the USB. White is 1.0, black is 2.0, blue is 3.0. They have different speeds associated with them, but I found a charger in my garage was a 1.0 to a 2.0 cable. And I found the charger in my bedroom was a 2.0 to a 1.0 cable. All I did was swap those now that I understood the concept of the speed increase between the colors, and I was able to put a fast charger in my garage and a slow charger in my bedroom. Now, I outfitted my whole house this way because now I understood the speeds of the cords. How many times I say and so. Now, I'm not too worried about the times that I say so, because almost all the time I am transitioning from one part of the topic to another, so it kind of makes sense. But on the first video I ever edited of myself, the first 5 minutes had 22 ums in it. The entire video had 180 times that I said 180 ums. At this point, I am actively trying not to use the word in normal dialogue. That's not something that I would have known unless I watched myself back and was actively trying to edit out the errors. First couple times I watched that video, didn't even see the ums. How much raw video does it take to post one video? Now, this is something that I've seen before on YouTube, and I just assumed that if you took a 20-minute video, once you edit everything out, it'd be like 18 minutes. Turns out, at least in my case, it's about 60 minutes worth of video for me to come up with about 15 to 18 minutes worth of final video. Looking at the camera lens. When I first started recording, I was using the selfie camera. So I'm looking at the screen of me, even though the lens is in the top right-hand corner. But I'm looking at my eyes. So to you, it looks like I'm looking, here, I'll do it right now. So this is the camera lens. This is where the picture would be. So I'm sitting here talking to you like this. I'm not looking at you. That took some time for me to learn how to look at the actual lens. Now, in this case, the ring light is not on. I have enough light outside. But when I don't have enough light, I have the ring light on. When the ring light is on, it creates so much glow, I can barely see the general area I'm supposed to look at. So I kind of had to train myself to look an inch off the right edge of my phone and an inch up from the center. Crazy, but it's something I had to learn. Breaking conversation and doing a retake. Now, before when I was recording, I didn't even think about how to learn how to edit or anything like that. So I did full 15-minute retakes to try to get one good take. Now, when I make a mistake verbally and I know that I made a mistake, I just stop, I think about 10 seconds back, and I repeat what I said and try to fix it. Last part, I like myself. I have not liked myself for over 10 years. This is something that Uber taught me when I was driving. I found out that the more people I was in front of, the more that they enjoyed my company. And I just didn't see myself as a likable person for a lot of reasons, I'm sure. Now, I started to get a compliment very, very often. People would either say, I'm in mid-conversation talking to them about something else, and they stop me, they interrupt me and say, you should be on YouTube. Or they say, you should be on the radio. Now, if 50 times a year somebody tells you you should be a model, first couple times, thank them, oh, that's so sweet. But if you hear it 50 times a year, maybe you should think about being a model. So I was hearing this over and over and over and over again, and this could not be made up. This made me feel good that other people want to hear my stories almost as much as I want to tell them. That's a big reason why I'm here today trying what I'm trying today. But after I started recording videos, I was pretty sure that my voice was going to be annoying to myself. I felt like I was going to be obviously a try-hard. I just felt like I couldn't stand my own content before I even made it. But to be honest, I really like the content that I'm producing. I like the attitude that I have. You know, sometimes when you see those YouTube videos, it might be political, it might be motivational. When somebody says something and you're like, yeah, I agree with that. Right on. Like, I say that to my own videos, and I just never thought that was going to be a thing. I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm sure there's a lot of things I got to change, but I think I like who I am at the core. And that's not something that I could say before I started this endeavor. So that's what I got for now. Those are the things that I thought about that I learned from the very first time that I started this whole YouTube thing. And this is where I am right now. I'm sure I'm going to be recording a lot more videos, so you're definitely going to see a lot of me soon. At this point, I'm out.